Nature, the original art form that stirs our emotions and inspires our senses. Where minute details create masterful canvases, always evolving and refining the best parts of nature. Cambria quartz surfaces embody and enhance these naturally exquisite aesthetics. This refinement has resulted in two new designs, Oakleigh and Delamere. Harness the elevated beauty of nature and discover a new world of inspired design. Cambria, a legend in every design.
Hey there, thanks for joining us today as we are launching two new Cambria designs. I've put together some mood boards to show you how these two new innovative designs complement so many materials we're seeing in homes today. But before we do that, let's go ahead and take a look at these two new beauties. They were inspired by nature, refined by Cambria. So let's go, let's take a look. This design is called Oakleigh. Now, Oakleigh embraces Cambria's colors, black and gold. Now, if we look at the background of Oakleigh, it is that clean, crisp white, which we still love today. But we brought something really new and different to Oakleigh. If you take a look at these beautiful fractured veins that are cascading throughout the design, you're gonna see that both the black and the very neutral gold, they're dancing and almost intersecting in so many different areas, creating such a nuance and a dynamic we've not done before. Now, I'm gonna talk a little bit more about those complementary materials when we get to the dream boards in just a minute. But let's move on. We talked about light, white, and bright, but let's juxtapose that next to something rich, bold, and regal. This is Delamere. Now, Delamere has this brown, chocolatey, but a little bit gray background. It's warm in general, but what lightens up Delamere are these high contrast, cool white veins that are crackling throughout this beautiful design. Now, we've also added in some other shades of taupe, so they're not so bright, but they add a little bit of depth and dimension. Delamere has a sister design at Cambria, and it's called Charlestown. Charlestown has that same minky tone background, but a lot more soft and subtle veins, giving you the opportunity to play with these two designs and create an ultra unique environment just for you. When we launch new designs, I just love putting together mood boards, showcasing different ways to use these new designs and how they complement so many materials that we all love today, and even give new inspiration of how to use these designs, whether it's in your home, in hospitality, that moody bar, or amazing powder bath. So let's go take a look. Okay, here we are at mood board number 1. This is Oakleigh. Now, I had a lot of fun collecting materials to really complement and really dream about how can we use Oakleigh. Let's first start in the kitchen, because that's kind of where I envision it first. The materials we're seeing out there, the blacks and the golds. So that's why I pulled together a variety of different cabinet styles. This here is a rift oak that's actually painted matte black. It's absolutely beautiful. And I thought we could combine it with a natural rift oak here that's a little bit towards the Scandinavian look that's so popular today. Now, if you want to do something a little bit more unique, I love the high glass black. I also brought in a flooring. Now, this is a white oak that has a wire sculpt to it. So it has a little bit of texture, but you can see the tones just match perfectly with that gold. Now, we need to talk a little bit about the sink. I love the Kohler Whitehaven cast iron sink. Here's a sample. You can see it pairs beautifully. This is the white cast iron. It just is a perfect match to almost all of our whites. And then we have to look at the plumbing fixtures. I kind of like a combination of the gold and the matte black, but most people want to stick to one. So here I showed how they both could work perfectly. Of course, a pull here in the matte black. How beautiful is that? Now let's talk about complementary Cambria designs. Hemsworth is a sister design, as you can see, only has the black veining, but matches perfectly. You know, bringing that into the kitchen, even if you did that in the backsplash, would be great. Blackpool matte, which I love comparing and contrasting that high gloss to the matte finish. And that's kind of what I did here with the cabinetry as well. Pull out a couple fun designs of Cambria that you don't always consider. This one is called Vale Village. How fun to have Oakleigh furniture, whether it's an end table and a coffee table maybe in this Vale Village, which is so fun and playful. Add something unique. Also, our design, Woodcroft here, you can see is black, but also has that gold. So it's almost the inverse of Oakleigh. And it ties in really well to some of the other materials here that I have laid down. Of course, I pulled a white because if you want to keep your kitchen light and white and cheerful, so I selected Smithfield. Now, Smithfield has the same bright white background. It's something calm in the backdrop. So that's a great one. And then lastly, this one's called Kentucky Coal. Now, Kentucky Coal and Vale Village are in Cambria's Coordinates collection. They are beautiful, almost like a terrazzo. So they can bring in a little bit of that mid-century modern. Let's talk about fabrics. I selected these two beautiful fabrics. This one here is a fabric cut. Look at how elegant that looks with Oakleigh. And there's a little bit of a champagne shimmer in the background of this one. This is a beautiful textile that complements this whole palette. Oakleigh, as you can see, is an absolutely stunning design, new to Cambria's palette. And we're hoping that you take this design and make it your own. And we can't wait to see what you do with Oakleigh. Now let's move on to our second mood board, Delamere. Now this one I had a lot of fun. We went rich, bold, luxurious, of course. I brought in a couple different cabinet styles. Now if we want to keep it dark and moody, I would use, here we have this European oak, really beautiful. The stained oaks, believe it or not, are coming back. These are beautiful colored cast iron sinks. I like the Whitehaven by Kohler. Now here you can see I selected two different shades, but it's okay that it's a little bit lighter because there is so much gradation going on in this design. You can also do the high contrast with that white Kohler sink. Also absolutely beautiful. That just gives it that pop. If we're gonna go in the gold direction, which would be my preference and is really hot today. Now, and I'm not opposed to mixing metals. And to tie in mixing the metals, I brought in this beautiful tile bar backsplash, which is an antique mirror, which gives this beautiful reflectivity and will even reflect a little bit of the countertop. Now, I also wanted to showcase, and I talked about this earlier, the sister design of Charlestown. And here you can really see that the back mink background, they match perfectly. But also you can notice that there is a much more soft and subtle veining in Charlestown. I also brought in, this is our White Cliff, which is Cambria's milkiest, whitest white. Now this would be something you might want to bring in if you want to lighten and brighten up the room. I would do then the white cabinetry. You're gonna have that contrast and it's gonna keep the room light and bright. Now, Delamere, you look at it and go, that's a masculine, bold looking design. So I wanted to bring in something a little bit more on the feminine side. We're seeing the colorways of clay and terracotta, even burgundy, really trending right now. So I found these beautiful S. Harris textiles here that you can see bringing in that clay terracotta. It's really tactile, has a texture to it. As you can see, there are just so many possibilities with Delamere. These are just a few ways that I felt that this design could really shine in pretty much any environment. Thanks for joining us. If you want to be the first to know when we're launching new designs, hit that subscribe button and we'll see you next time. Ciao.